Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another review. This review is gonna be on the creepy case of Old Iron Face, which was requested by Rick. So thanks for commenting. And let's get straight into the review.
It's a school of man-eating sharks.
Jeepers! If that's a school, that must be the teacher!
Let's get out of here now. Sharks! Zoinks! Do something, Scoob! Yeah! Shaggy, look! Stroke. Like I'm stroking! I'm stroking! Faster!
There goes that weird character and the shark!
So creepy little scene there you saw with the ghost of Old Iron Face attacking the gang. I give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. That's a pretty good ranking, I think, for this episode. Seeming most episodes in this series I give a pretty much 9 to 10s on average. So I feel like this one's a pretty generic, normal type reviewed episode for it. It's definitely not average. If I go to one that's classic, I'd definitely go to a villain like Old Iron Face, who made a reference. He made an appearance in Cyber Chase. Sorry, not a reference, an appearance in Cyber Chase as one of the villains there. He also made an appearance in Frank and Creepy. The villain made the appearance instead of Iron Face. Very, very creepy ghost as well. I think I give it a 9 out of 10, mainly because of the ghost, because the mystery is flawed a little bit. So I think I mainly give it a 9 out of 10 because of the ghost, because the ghost is a very, very iconic ghost to the series. This is episode 7 of season 3 from the Scooby-Doo show. The characters in this episode are very interesting. I do like Captain Morgan, who is like the main character besides the gang in this episode. And basically they're going to go look for him on Skull Island because that's where they're going to go with him for lunch. But unfortunately, the captain apparently has been disappeared. And he's supposed to meet them at Mama Mione's, which is a restaurant, about 2 hours before the gang got there, around then. So the gang ate their lunch at Mama Mione's, and they said they're a very, very small cafe, but had a lot of business, so you'd think she'd have better business, and she had a lot of food, so you'd think she'd probably have like a bigger, wider, more business, but then they head over to Skull Island, because Skull Island is the creepy home of the ghost of Iron Face, and the prison there is apparently haunted by him. So, of course, Shaggy and Scooby get sent up to the prison, and immediately they find him, and the biggest flaw for the episode is right here. It was absolutely perfect until this point. The ghost moaning was very, very good, and then the ghost was just chasing Shaggy and Scooby for the rest of the episode, while Fred, Daphne, and Velma find all the clues. So that's why it's mainly flawed for me. Lots of people give this one a really, really, really high ranking, don't you worry. But I give it a 9 out of 10, which is still pretty good in this series, in my opinion. Very, very high ranking. But yeah, like I said, the other members of the gang were finding the clues. Like, they didn't even see Old Iron Face for a long period of time. Like, yeah, they saw him at the start of the episode, but then they didn't see him until the end of the episode when they caught him. That's a long, long, long time period. And that's the main problem I have with him. Captain Morgan is fine. That creepy boat guy that they tried to rent a boat from him, but he didn't rent his boat to them. That creepy guy was good. He turns out to be like a a spy or something. He was working on the case. He was this secret spy agent. I think his name was like Mr. Hardgrove. He was an FBI agent, I'm pretty sure. That's right, I think that's right. But the clues that the gang found, Velma, Daphne, and Fred all managed to find a room and a kitchen, basically in this hidden part of the cave that was underneath the prison, and that's where people were living there, because they assumed people were living there because there was like bedrooms and stuff, and there was a whole bunch of mess and suitcases left behind, and very, very odd. And they find all the food left in the like fridge and pantry, and they wonder why all this food is there. And I guess, yeah, the creepy scene at the start as well is very, very similar to the end, with Shaggy and Scooby finding the torpedoes as the only clue they actually found. They were riding on the torpedoes, like we saw when the gang were on the boat at the start of the episode while they're in their swimmers when the ghost attacked them. It was very, very interesting to see how he actually could control the sharks. The sharks turned out to be torpedoes painted as sharks, as the ghost rode them around to scare people away. But the ghost, the reveal, it turns out to be Mama Mione, who is the villain who appears in Frank and Creepy as well. She's a very, very creepy villain, that's for sure. Very, very evil indeed. She wanted revenge on the Scooby Gang in this episode. She's a very, very creepy woman. She kidnapped Captain Morgan because his tours that the gang were going to go get with him with lunch, his tours basically would ruin her plan, and her plan was very, very ingenious. This is the part of the episode that brings it up along with the villain, because otherwise it's just your average Scooby-Doo show episode. But the plot is fantastic. Sneaking convicts in the torpedoes while she rides them around as sharks to get them back onto the mainland. Superb. Hides them out in Skull Island. Gives them some of her food from her restaurant. A small little business on the side that she didn't really care about. Supplies them with food. Supplies them with a home. But when Captain Morgan was coming for his first tour that the gang were going to get, they panicked. They left the island. That's why the gang found such a big mess in that bedroom.
Now, let's see who this Iron Face really is.
Mamma Mia! Her cafe on the mainland was just a cover for her real business. Smuggling convicts in and out of her fancy hideaway under the prison.
The convicts were hidden inside the shark-painted torpedoes.
Then they were launched. While Mama Mione, a champion water skier, took advantage of the old Iron Face legend to scare off any curious boaters.
The scheme worked until you showed up with your plan to take tourists out to Skull Island.
Oh, I get it.
Her high-paying guests panicked and demanded to be taken back to the mainland. That's why we found the place empty.
Those chickens, they didn't even stay to finish all that terrific food.
Congratulations, kids.
Hargrove's the name, federal agent. You kids just helped crack a case I've been working on for months.
Very, very creepy episode. A lot of running around. That's why this review is so short. I don't really want to give into detail about, running around. I think at a point Shaggy and Scooby fall into like this laundry basket and then find the torpedo room. That's how they meet up with it. I mean, you can't really say much more than that in this episode. Just a lot of running around. One of my favourite scenes, though, is when they find Captain Morgan's boat underneath the water with a torpedo hole in it. That was amazing. I really, really like that. Also like how the Pelican ate their Scooby snacks and they still got sent up to the prison when obviously Velma, Fred and Daphne got the better job because they found all that food. Shaggy and Scooby would have absolutely loved that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this very, very short review. Very, very surprisingly short. Hope you enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for some more. content coming out soon on the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment down some more episodes you'd like to see being reviewed.